Hey guys, come back to you with another great YouTube video, and I'm finally back to making videos. I guess I think it might have been a week since I made my last video. Since then, I got my new Elgato for the new PC, and when I moved PCs, I kind of erased all my gameplay on my old PC because I reset it because it just not being really used. So yeah, and I just have not had the gameplay. And then last week, you guys probably know him from the channel if he's ever been here. I am the Mace. He was on here, and then we recorded some things, and we're gonna have up. He flew down, I guess, in an interesting time, but he flew down, and if I got me, I'm the Mace in real life. And guys, you're gonna have one. We have one. I guess the best video will be up here to the channel in like a week. So yeah, that's something interesting. I hope you guys are looking forward to. It's not league related, but it's pretty interesting. And yeah. Today's great gameplay, some gang-playing support. I don't know why, but over the past few days, since I'm a support main, I've kind of had the audacity to just meme as a support. I'm like, I'm just going to be memeing. Let's see what I've gone the past few days. I've gone Ashe, I've gone Jhin, I have gone Twisted Fate, I've gone GP, I've gone Warwick support. I've gone some interesting supports just because I've been bored as a support. I don't want to be a hook champ all the time in draft pick. If I was playing ranked, you know, it'd be a different story, but it's just draft. So I couldn't really care. But you know what's great, guys? That you'd be subscribed to the channel. Make sure you have notifications on to be alert when we have the great commentary coming up. So yeah, that's just something I want to mention. Make sure you guys are subscribed, and let's turn the notification bell on to be up to date for great content. And today's commentary, guys, is gonna be how to stop dying in the mid to late game. And it's something, you know, the things I'm gonna talk about in the video I mentioned in probably other ones, but these are reoccurring things in League that can all be applied to different areas to make sure you play well. Staying alive in games is very essential to winning, guys. Reducing the time spent watching the gray screen during mid-game can help you out a lot, and your team can win a lot easier. That last leads to three things, strong things occurring in the game. 1, you will collect more gold and XP. Being alive means it could soak up minion waves, maybe get some XP from taking out towers. It's one of the big things. And the second one, your team will be able to win more team fights, guys. That's another thing. I guess one of the things about that is that, you know, your team will be able to win more. If, let's say you're the carry, the hyper carry, and you're dead, your team might not be able to win the fight. Or if you're a tank, you get picked off, and your team's just not able to win the fight, potentially, because they don't have a front line. And then the third one is, I guess, you win more team fights, guys. That's the third one as well. Just like getting objectives, guys. Well, actually, the second one, guys, I don't know why I mix them up, but the third one I'm going to say is you guys will be able to get more objectives. Once you're in live, guys, your team will have the damage. Maybe you're, I guess, the AD carry, or you're maybe an AP champ like Ziggs. And I forget who else is a strong AP champ that's able to take towers fast, but you maybe don't have the damage to take towers as fast, guys. And your team might not capitalize on a team fight they just had. Now, I'm going to give you some 3 tips, guys, to make sure you stay alive in the game. Because these tips, I'm pretty sure I've covered them before in other videos, but this is more applicable to the mid to late game. The first one, guys. Number 1, you have to stick with your team. Guys, one way you can stop dying during the mid to late game is by grouping with your team. If you are grouped with them, your chances of dying or being picked off are less, guys. Because if you're alone, you can have an assassin jump on you and pick you off, guys. And then compared to split pushing or farming a side wave before grouping, when you are alone, you are easier to kill. Simple as that. You just give an open lane to an assassin to potentially go jump on you and kill you, or one-shot you. And it gives the enemy more incentive to try and take you down. It also leaves you easier to kill. This gives the enemy more incentive to try and take you down. It also leaves you vulnerable to multi-person ganks, which are hard to escape from. Should be always grouped. Guys, most of the time during the mid to late game, when you are not farming, unless you're a split push or someone with a strong dueling potential, I guess like Tryndamere or Poppy, you should always try to remain with at least one teammate to not get taken down. So many times I've seen, I do it as a support sometimes. I see supports walk off and leave their ADC alone. When I'm playing other lanes and lead to their ADC getting killed and snowball, always make sure you stick with your teammate, guys. With that said, you should always look up to pick up side waves, minion waves, monsters, and objectives when possible. Take appropriate pathing to your team so you do not get caught out. If you are the support, warding during the mid to late game is important for taking objectives, knowing enemies' rotation, or they are at certain times, guys. But as that said, do not go to ward alone. I've been on that side many times where I've been off warding alone, and it's led me to getting killed. If you're trying to ward Baron, it may give the enemy the opportunity to take the objective uncontested, as they may have a numbers advantage. If your team tries to stop then, they would just turn around and fight your team. If not ward, at least you have some help, guys, because if you go off alone, even as a tank, you can lead to getting killed. Maybe the enemy's camping or just rotating through and you get caught out, you know, stuff like that. Request assistance, guys. Number 2, take appropriate pathing when moving around the map. Moving from one lane to another is something everyone has to do. Whether you are matching an enemy, rotation, or moving back towards your team after farming the side lane, or escaping people picking up your backdoor push, moving them on the map has a high impact on your death toll. And make sure, when you're rotating, you want to rotate through areas like, to get you caught out. Maybe the enemy's taking the first tier tower, that area of the map. They might, have pitched a tent in that area waiting for you. Rotating through the enemy jungle if they might be there, if they have a farming jungler. Take the wrong path, and it can have disastrous consequences, guys, and you should always take a safer route rather than the fastest one if the situation calls for it. But how do you know which route you should take, guys? That's a good question. Sorry I'm going a bit fast with the commentary, but currently my AC is broken, so yeah. Guys, it's pretty random, but whatever. The route you take depends on the situation you're in and what circumstances you're playing under. For example, guys, if you have the area or river warded, walking through that or spinning through it can be totally safe because you know that nobody's there to stop you, whereas walking through the river when you have no vision is much riskier, as you do not know who could be there. Maybe it could be the whole team, you walk up on the whole team. If you do not know where the enemy is or what side of the map they're on, they could literally be anywhere, including the path you wish to take. Always take a defensive route, guys, if you do not know where the enemy is, at the likelihood of them being inside of the jungle or on the path or on your path will be less. However, if you're behind, like being in front your first tier towers, like I mentioned, you shouldn't walk through your jungle, as then you may have complete freedom or control of it in the situation. You may have to tread farther to move safely, and then something else that you should impact your movement on the map is what champions the enemy team consists of, guys. Like if they have assassins or burst mages or anyone that could take it down quickly, you should always adapt your pattern to reduce the chances of being taken out. Many champions, like I guess like a Zed, a Talon, a Jax, a Shaco, maybe the Collie or Cat, all like to set up a luxury tent inside of a bush, or even a Yi, like to set up a tent and just wait for an enemy to walk by before shredding them. At the end of the day, if you're not sure where the enemy is, or if you're afraid of being one-shot by an enemy champion, always take the safer route, guys. From one lane to another to reduce your chances of dying. Even though it might take longer, it's better to get there later and not get there at all. Final tip, I know I mentioned this one several times, guys. Warding. Make sure you ward. Warding is incredibly important to all stages of the game, but more so in later stages, as being caught out costs you a major objective, guys. If you get caught out, maybe give up your jungler and you get caught out. Maybe the other team gets Baron or gets Soul. Maybe they get Elder, something like that. Or maybe you're a tank and you get caught out. The enemy gets free reign on towers, or they get to potentially jump on your team, guys. Stuff like that. On all the locational words, guys, it depends heavily on the situation you are in. It depends on the situation you're in. Maybe if you're like heavily winning and you pushed up, you might want to venture in and ward the enemy jungle so you can know what path where their jungler is or where people are at or what's happening. Or maybe you're losing, so you might want to ward some paths that could lead you to getting flanked. So it just depends on the situation, guys. If you have vision range areas of the map, you will see the enemy wherever they are. They cannot go ward without your team knowing, or they cannot venture somewhere without your team knowing. Not only will this save your life, but it will also save your teammates' lives if they can notice somebody and you ping them. And then, warding, it just depends on what situation, even in the game situation, guys. But that's a commentary today, guys. There's 3 tips to make sure you don't die as often mid to late game. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment some other tips you thought should be in here, because we're always open for discussion. And as always, guys, when you subscribe, make sure you turn notifications on to be up to date when we put up the great content here in the channel. And also, make sure you follow social media down in the description. As always, guys, make sure you stay on the grind. Peace and stay safe. Until next time, guys.
That the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all